This week on our free preview, join us as we take a look at the stark difference between consumer sentiment and CEO sentiment. For now, sit back, relax, and join us as we take you through the numbers. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lindsay.
How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. Did you have a nice weekend?
I did. I went to a James Beard nominated ice cream shop, which
They do that?
I didn't think they did that. It was, every bite was worth it. And so I was doing this like economic analysis of this ice cream shop.
Of course you were.
Oh, you know me. So we're there a freezing cold day in northern New Hampshire eating ice cream and
having just ice climbed, I assume.
And having just ice climbed, clearly, just shaking a little bit. But this place was very busy for a very small, quiet New Hampshire town. And I'm doing all right, what are your competitive advantages? It's, is it flavors? Is it this? Is it that? And I guess I realized at that moment in my life that I just can't turn the nerd off.
That's when you realized?
You've known this for a while.
No, but that's so funny. You were analyzing
but I
your ice cream
and
experience.
I was thinking of everything they're doing right and how we are having these conversations with our clients, right?
Right.
How are you differentiating, right? What's your competitive advantage? Can you state it? And they had things on the walls that are stating their competitive advantages,
Cool.
where they get their local ingredients, all of that. Oh, the awards, obviously, that's a good one. But it was such a fun weekend because that's something I never really thought I'd do.
Right. What was the flavor of choice
for you? So this is everything's coming out now on our By the Numbers show, but I actually got the flight, so you could do 6 different ones and taste a little of each. I think the best, it was like a blueberry crumble cake.
Ooh.
So good.
That sounds really, really good.
So good.
Well,
yes.
If I ever make it up that way, I will have
to check
to
it out.
But it sounds like you do need to go in the wintertime. Otherwise, I imagine there's quite the line.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never been.
Well, I don't know that there's an exact pivot to that other than the fact that you analyze everything, and that's why we have you here. We'll jump right into the first headline of the day, which is Americans are down on the economy, but CEOs are full of optimism. And our articles today kind of take a look at both sides of this coin. But this first one is really talking that business leaders are optimistic about tax cuts and deregulation, while consumers are stressed about potential price hikes. Consumer sentiment is significantly worse than a month ago, tumbling across ages and income groups, while CEOs are more optimistic than they've been in years. So really, there's 2 surveys that are looked at in this article, and I believe the results came out last week or so.
Yeah.
And there's this growing divergence between the heads of businesses and the rest of the country when it comes to the economy. And the article attempts to kind of dig into why that might be, but I'll start by tossing the question over to you first. What do you think is creating this divergence?
I think more than anything else, and I'm going to come back to this word time and again throughout our conversation today, it's uncertainty. No one feels like they have a handle on things. And when we are uncertain, we can feel a lot worse than maybe that even worst case outcome would have been.
Yeah.
It's almost like as long as we know what we're dealing with, we can just go push forward, power through, and deal with it. But if we don't even know what's coming, you're just in that waiting period, you're in limbo, that's not a good feeling. And so for consumer confidence, and we've had this conversation so many times, and I really wanted to pull out an article just to dig into this.
Yeah.
We don't trust consumer confidence all that much. I really don't hang my hat on what consumers say they will or won't do. It turns out to more often than not be backward looking rather than forward looking.
Yep.
Consumers are responding. Exactly. Reactionary, that's the best word. Consumers are responding to what has been happening to them, how they have been feeling, and sometimes not even in a fully data-driven way. So we can look at the Conference Board Consumer Confidence Indicator. In February, all rates of change were negative, so drops across the board. The 12/12 in February was negative 2.3%. So that is down, just to agree with what the headline is saying. Consumers don't feel as good. But the real question is, does that change their spending behavior in the future? Or is that just, how do I feel today? Maybe tomorrow's a different day.
The article also quotes the much anticipated M&A tsunami of 2025 has yet to make landfall, but the conditions are all still ripe for that to arrive later this year. And I will say that in my conversations as of late, I am getting more and more questions about how ITR helps businesses with mergers and acquisitions.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
So not a lot of implementation,
yes,
but a lot of what ifs
yep.
happening, which I use as a leading indicator to see
That's
what
a great signal.
will come.
Absolutely.
And I have been asked about it quite a bit from PE firms, from larger firms with a buy and hold strategy, even.
Interesting.
But I've also picked up on it from some of my, I'm going to say smaller sized businesses, not too small by any stretch, obviously still large enough to do acquisitions, but yeah, I'm hearing of acquisition strategies in the works, or we're looking at acquiring this little family-owned company that currently makes and does something that we can't do right now, but we would like to add that. So
it's a great way to add capability. And yes, I know everyone is always expecting a tsunami, and there's always some reason, right, to keep it waiting in the wings, whether it's interest rate, whether it's policy uncertainty. But it's fascinating to hear that you're starting to pick up on those green shoots. I haven't heard as many of those conversations, but it wouldn't surprise me. Again, we've been talking about this for so long, and for 6 months now, I've been saying, man, it just feels like a wait and see environment. Eventually, we've waited. We're going to see. It has to come out in the wash eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. So knowing your markets, knowing your own forecast.
It's all knowing your markets.
And even if there's that pause in the overall outlook right now from a sentiment standpoint, knowing the data can really help drive those decisions.
The fundamentals haven't paused.
Well, there you go. There's your bumper sticker for the day. The fundamentals haven't paused. You should use that in your summit keynote.
I think I might.
Because I don't know that you're going to have that solid answer before you present next week.
We are definitely going to look at a few scenarios, a few what ifs, and really my goal now is to get to what are the questions that tariffs should be answering.
There you go.
And how can we go about those? So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so excited for it.
Yes, and there is still time to sign up.
And if
you haven't already.
Yes.
Just head over to our website. It's going to be a really fun and unique event, much more beyond even our executive series webinars that we've done before. There's it's a jam-packed day.
It's going to be so much fun. We have some of our Crow colleagues presenting on things like tax strategy, which is not a capability we have at ITR. So we get a few other, flavors, let's call it, of keynotes in here.
That's going to be really fun to kind of watch all of that come together because, that's our goal, help the world of business grow stronger. And now we have other areas that we can plug into within Crow. So this summit made a lot of sense, and I'm excited to be an attendee and listen to you too. So that will be really great. But we'll be talking more and more about this stuff as the weeks go on and we get more information. And we haven't talked about interest rates in a while. Ooh. Maybe that's a topic for another day.
Might be time. I've seen a couple headlines pick it up recently.
Yeah, so maybe stay tuned to next week and we can try to tap into that.
Yeah, we'll preview the Fed meeting on the 19th.
There we go. That sounds fun. Well, thank you as always, Lauren. I appreciate you being here for your time. That's all the time we have for today here on our free preview. If you'd like to watch this full-length episode and other full-length episodes, click on the link in the description below to look into becoming an Insider Plus member. But until next time, bye, Lauren.
Bye, Lindsay.